Hello, everyone. Let's see. I'm doing my first YouTube live with my phone. So, surprise. I don't know if I'm going to catch anyone live here or not. Trying to even figure out where to put this phone. See if I can even see chat anywhere. I don't see chat anywhere. Oh, there, maybe. Well, if you're already joining me, thank you. I don't know how to do this. I am learning. Maybe I can see chat this way. Nope. Okay, orientation is locked, it says. Well, I'm just going to set this. There we go. The chat just shows up like that. Well, that's perfect. Let's see. I didn't really want to set it down like this. That doesn't really work. Well, I'm going to have to get better at this, that's for sure. Hi, Jenny. Hi, April. Hi, Flavia. Oh, it's so nice to see you. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Hi, Jolie. It's so nice to see some of my best friends here. I guess I'm going to need one of those phone holder things because this isn't exactly what I wanted to do. So I am here waiting for my husband who's at an appointment inside. And I just thought it had been a while since I had done a YouTube video. And so, yeah, hey, yeah, I'm going to do that. Hey, look, Jenny, look what I have. I have my beautiful bottle that we got at the goddess retreat, and yeah, it's got my supercharged water in it. So I got that right here at the ready. So one of the things that was on my mind this morning was this idea of, I'm sure you all have heard it. We're all healers. And in some aspect, that's absolutely true. We're here to heal each other. We're here to love each other, all of that. But in a different sense, the idea of being a healer has come to me this morning because there's a lot of people and maybe you're one of them out there, who really dislike your job, who really dislike your day job. Or maybe you don't dislike it so much, but there's something about it that's unfulfilling. And oh, hi, nice to see you, Susan from Malta. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my perspective of doing this work now since 2008. When I first started doing, back then it was just Dolores's method that I practiced. I was a wife and a mom and a photographer and a designer, freelance part-time when I felt like doing the work. And that was what I did. And then I started this work very, very part-time. And a lot of people do. And I didn't dislike my other work at all. As a matter of fact, I loved everything about my life. I went into it because I needed healing myself. I saw how much having my session with Dolores Cannon in 2008 changed my life, brought healing into my life. And I, went to her class and I wanted to help others have the same kind of success that I did. But I did it part-time for a very long time. So a lot of people who come to me as clients, they ask questions about their job, or they think or they dream about being practitioners of some kind or having different kinds of jobs. And so I asked the community this morning, both on Facebook and our Quantum Healers community, which is at quantumhealers.com. Now, we support all kinds of healers at quantumhealers.com. We got started by just supporting QHHT practitioners. I want to make it very clear, we still very much support and list in our directory QHHT practitioners, but we also list and support healers of all kinds. We have found that opening up our community and our directory to all kinds of healers is terrific across the board. We learn from each other and we support each other, and it's the family's just growing and getting bigger and better all the time. So I put the question both to my Facebook group and also to my community at quantumhealers.com. And I basically asked this question: if you're not already doing healing work full time, what is your day job? And it was such a wonderful response. And I got so many responses, but look how many. I started writing them down. Look at this. Look how many I have. And I want to read some of these to you. Matter of fact, I might read all of these out loud and kind of go down this list and talk about it a little bit. If you're not listening live, you may catch the replay here. You may catch it because of some of the keywords, or somebody might be searching for this in the future. Do you dislike your day job? Is there something about your day job that's unfulfilling? Do you dream about doing something else? Maybe even this healing type work. Well, a lot of people contact me and say, am I right for this? Can I do this? Or they even have sessions, and they ask their higher self, their counsel, their guides in their session if they should, try doing this work. And they come from all walks of life, and that is kind of what I want to do today, is read off some of these jobs that people had that are their day jobs, or their the jobs that they combine while they are starting or pursuing their work as healers. So here we go. We have lots of nurses, lots and lots of nurses. Of course we have lots of nurses. They're already interested in helping people, right? Here's project director. We have an art director, an illustrator, substitute teacher, information technology project manager, social worker. Social workers, we have a lot of social workers. Of course, they want to help people, right? Here, hi, Dolores says, not just day job, it went away. Anyway, a lot of people do this work full-time for sure, but their day job may be other things. Here's special ed teacher. Here's somebody else who's a case manager at a hospital. My beautiful friend Priscilla Lewis is still pursuing her day job as a railway track technician. I knew Priscilla for quite a while before I found out that's what she did during the day, and it's pretty cool, actually, her job. Hypnotist, yoga teacher, computer scientist. We have lots of authors. We have lots of speakers. Here's psychotherapist, of course, and we list people like this on our directory, by the way. Life coaches, psychotherapists. Here's a nutritionist. We list all of those people on our directory if you want to join us. An innkeeper, an artist, and we've talked to lots of artists lately. Mothers, of course, stay at home and or part-time, trading with partners. Case manager. Here's a university professor, tourism director, a naturopath. One of my favorite answers today, an accountant. Healers, we talk a lot about different jobs that might be more what we call left brain jobs. And being an accountant, working, strictly with paperwork and numbers, that is very much a left brain kind of activity, math, etc. But balances out nicely, I guess, with the healing jobs of the evening hours of being a healer. Okay. Here's a spa employee. Lots of people have small businesses on Etsy or, little jobs on the side like that, or they're creating things like that. Nutritionist, I already said. Here's a web designer. One of my favorite answers this morning, which got me laughing hysterically into my coffee this morning, was an answer from my friend and colleague Stig, who said he was a pole dancer. And then I laughed because he of course, he was joking, but I really, really laughed. And the idea is, you can be a pole dancer. Yeah, you can be a pole dancer and do this work if you wanted to, and why not? We have a WordPress developer, we have a photographer, we have a respiratory therapist, dental office manager, an exercise instructor, a part-time office supply retail person. One of our longtime healing practitioners, I don't know if he's in our community anymore. He said he's a school bus driver, a school manager at an elementary school. Here's somebody who cleans houses, a soap maker, a translator. Here's somebody who works at a marketing position at a publishing house. And here's another hairdresser. And, we have lots of hairdressers. And why not? Especially if you're a woman and you've gone to hairdressers over the years, you know that to be an effective hairdresser, I think you have to be just kind of a natural counselor anyway. You have to enjoy people and talking to people and helping them feel better, right? And Jenny says, hey, Jenny, what do you think of my hair? I need to find somebody who knows how to layer curls. I think it's time for a little trim and layering. Anyway, let's talk, girlfriend. Let me go back to the list here. Here's somebody who's a server in a pub, a school counselor. We have several interpreters, a train guard. Here's one, a casino worker, a homeschooling mom. Here's somebody who's the chief operating officer of a technology company. Now, that's another kind of left brain realm that, might not initially seem to match with having additional work or interest as being a part-time healer, but there you go. Here's another writer, another editor. Here's a meat wrapper. Now, that's interesting. I'd be very interested in talking to that person about that job. I know that I would have lots of interesting thoughts doing that kind of job. Here's somebody who's a secretary, another retail associate. Here's another somebody who's, I can't quite see unless I really bring this right up to my face. Maybe I can make the chat bigger on this YouTube phone. I don't know. I need larger text. Hey, I'm 58. It's what works here for these 58-year-old eyes. We're almost done with the list. Family therapist, cosmetologist, a language teacher, and a project analyst. So anyway, that's my list for this morning. And, right now, I should say this. I've had some people contact me on YouTube, and they're like, where have you been? And I know I've missed you guys. I've missed doing some of these live YouTubes. And part of it is I'm really taxed right now to be a caretaker in my family. I'm having to do caregiving for not one, but two people, kind of urgent, daily, constant caregiving. And it's all good. Everything's looking up. But I'm the one where this has now come to a lot of the driving, a lot of the errands, all of the cooking, bill paying, on top of everything else, on top of running the forum, on top of running the directory, on top of my own clients. I'm having to do these other things. Plus, of course, we have the farm. And so, the minutes and the days are just sort of flying by. But, a lot of people, I think, are in the same boat right now. And a lot of people, even content makers on YouTube, I have found, and some of my dearest supporters, and thank you so much for contacting me off list, behind the scenes, asking me where I've been, is everything okay? I think a lot of people are experiencing a variety of things that's happening energetically right now. And so what am I talking about? Well, we've talked and talked and talked. You've heard about this, the dismantling of structures. And, we can talk about things like, thank you, Dolores, sending me love. Thank you, darling. We can talk about dismantling of things that we, are very obvious: government, politics, religion, banking systems, all those kinds of things. We're seeing that dismantling. But guess what? That dismantling is also happening in other ways. Some family situations, right? Personal dismantling of the structure that you're in for what? Your job, your family. Some of these underlying structures that we have as a society, as humanity, we've patched them up, we've built on top of them, we keep kind of, rather than just taking it down to its foundation, our sense of fixing things and taking care of things has been just another patch. It's kind of like, patching the road over and over and over and over and over again, patching that same road until it's ridiculous to patch anymore, and it's all got to be taken away and begun from a very basic place, right? So the dismantling of structures all the way down to the ground. And you know what? That can be scary. That can be very uncomfortable for humans, because humans like things that are predictable in general. They like things to be the same today as they were yesterday. They want tomorrow to be pretty much the same as today, and they don't like surprises. The ego sure doesn't like surprises. We don't particularly like that, and as in general. So the dismantling is uncomfortable, and it's going to continue to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be uncomfortable on a lot of different levels. This is the dismantling of stuff like family structures. Really, it's the dismantling of, how your team in your offices work together. There's a lot of this going on. So in my own life, although the emotional support in my family has never been more beautiful, strong, and wonderful, some of the underlying structures in some of the key players in my family are in a sense of dismantling, primarily with the physical body. Dismantling, sometimes to dismantle a disease process or an injury or et cetera, you've got to dismantle down to the foundation and take care of that thing. That's kind of like having a broken bone. I don't know what that was. Kind of like having a broken bone, and rather than, continue to put a Band-Aid on it, just go ahead and have the surgery. Just go ahead and get in there and put it together and, see what can be done from the very internal part of the structure. I don't know, my truck was seeming to, I think, wanting to maybe broadcast the audio here. Anyway, I've got some feedback coming over on my truck. So all that's happening. It's happening in my life too, in good ways though, really, really good ways. Now with my dad, I do have to say with my dad, he's 89, and he's still happy. He's still fairly independent, but he needs more from me. And he's my last parent left. And he's actually the last member left of my nuclear family that I was born into. I lost my brother many years ago, 1989, lost my mama in 2016. And it's just me and dad left as far as, that nuclear family. And I don't have extended family to count on that are nearby at all. I come from military families. We're far flung. I don't have cousins. I have beautiful friends, but I don't have any siblings. I don't have any cousins. I don't even have any kids anymore that live nearby. Everybody's far away. So a lot of these things are left up to me, and I happily and with a lot of love taking care of my family, but it's kept me off of YouTube. So enough about that, enough about me. I would like to thank some of you who jumped on with me live this morning, this very impromptu video. And as it goes out, though, those of you who are thinking about your job, I want to bring it back to that before I close. It's so common. It's so common for clients to say they really dislike their job. And they put up with how much they dislike their job. And they make excuses and rationalizations, and they talk about how it's paying the bills. And I understand that. Believe me, I understand that. But if this thing about putting up with it, and this thing about when you are putting on your shoes in the morning and heading that way, and you are having an internal conversation that goes something like, oh God, it's Monday again, and I got to go back, and I got to go do this work that I don't particularly care for, that I don't know what's going on. Now the screen is changing. I hope it's still alive. But if you're feeling that way, that energy within yourself, this is, let's be just very blunt about it. This is destructive to your life force energy. It period. You're paying a price for that. And a lot of people think they don't have any other. Thank you so much. Whoever said I was still alive just now, I saw that come by. If you think you don't have any other choice, look, I understand that. A lot of people think they don't have any other choice. But what I have found, and what a lot of people do and have done, and especially now with the opportunities that BQH, Beyond Quantum Healing, has offered to people, you can step into a different kind of service to others' career in a small way. And with BQH, you can do it from anywhere. You can do it from rural Montana. You can do it from a small island in Fiji. You can do it from anywhere as long as you've got a reasonable internet connection. It didn't used to be that way. It's that way now. It's one way of looking at how you can move into joy in your life if you're feeling that calling. But if you're feeling that calling in other ways, you all have been watching some of my videos. My artistic side has been calling me, and I've been fighting to carve out a little bit of time for my artist self in my days, because it's been screaming to be heard. Even though I love my job, I absolutely love my job supporting practitioners and teaching BQH and having clients. I love my job, but I was missing my art too much. I was just setting it aside, and I was denying that very creative aspect of my own life force energy. And I know that I needed to get back into it to feel really as wonderful as I feel right now. And I'm very glad that I did, and I have more to talk about that in the future. But I just encourage you to give yourself a chance to know that you can do it slowly, right? I didn't do this work full time for a number of years. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was till, it wasn't for a couple of years that I could do it full time. I just couldn't. And then I finally made the leap, and it was spectacular. But things change and things morph. They always do. And that's another great thing about BQH, is you can always adapt those changes to what it is you're doing. One of the things I have in mind is some additional kind of therapy courses, webinar things that combine consciousness exploration and artwork, both for amateurs, hobbyists, and professional artwork. People who make art professionally. I have a big interest in that. This creative life force coming out in this way. I watch my beautiful friend Pamela Arlen, who, she knows she must create music. And there's other people who continue to dance or assist others another way, write, or, help people in other kind of service industries. So I just encourage you to follow your passion. Your passion will help opportunities manifest. It's true. If you think you don't have an opportunity, right? There's nothing that comes up. I don't have somebody standing at your door willing to give you a job. Well, the universe is waiting for you to make some moves, right? To ask, to put the energy out there. Sometimes just to begin is all you need to help the ball get rolling. So I encourage you to follow your passion today. If there's anything that I've done, it's following my intuition and following my passion, even when it doesn't make any sense, even when it doesn't make any sense to the people around me. I've learned that's the way to go, and that's the way I live my life. I definitely encourage others to at least consider doing that too. All right. Oh, who is saying something? I love my job as a nurse, says Tammy. My body doesn't like it. Yeah, I get that. I get that, Tammy. Where should we start? I feel the calling. Well, what interests you, Pavel? What's your passion? Read whatever gets you the most excited is where you could think about starting. And there's all kinds of people out there, coaches and consultants. I do intuitive consulting myself. I don't always do just BQH sessions. Pavel says helping others. Well, you know what? There's a million things you can do. You can volunteer, right? There's all kinds of volunteer jobs out there. You can just start. If you need it to pay bills, well, that's another conversation, right? But you can just start. Kamikaze Kate says something that you enjoy doing as a hobby. Absolutely, yeah, that's another way of doing it too. Animals were always a big part of my life. They're still a big part of my life, and I volunteered for 2 or 3 different animal type organizations in that way, and you're so welcome, Pavel. Getting involved in some horse therapy programs, even before I got started into doing too many practitioner sessions, was a part of what I did. Oh gosh, look at this. I wish I could read all of that. It's hard. I feel passionate to help. I'm going to need how to figure out how to do this better because the chat goes away too fast for me to help. Yes, it's hard. It's hard, especially if you don't have help keeping other things together. It is hard. It's still worth it. It's still worth it. You can dip your toe in this kind of stuff. Gracias. I thought the message was for me as well, for the encouragement. Oh, you're so welcome, Marcia. I think it's for everybody. It's for me too. I had to give myself a little bit of this talking to make room for art in my very, very, very busy life of taking care of everybody and all of the hats that I wear and the things that I do. And I'm still doing it, and I'm combining it. I mean, I'm bringing my sketchbook even to the barn, right? I hadn't been doing that. I have to go to the barn and do a chore anyway. So I bring my sketchbook and I sit down and I let myself have 10 minutes of sketching. That has brought me so much joy. There's so many different ways you can help other people too, and be of assistance, be of service. About positive affirmation. Yes, positive affirmation. Yeah, it feels good to be positive. It just does. It doesn't feel good to be negative. And by the way, speaking of, if you find yourself complaining a lot, be careful. And that complaining can be even internal complaining, okay? And let me tell you, because I have noticed as we are moving into the last part of 2019 where manifestation is happening, guess what happens if you're complaining? Yeah, words are commands, says Marcia. And not only that, but kind of thoughts too. So if in your head you are complaining about something, and even complaining about something specific, what you are doing is you are reinforcing more of that coming in. Now, a little bit of venting, that's different, right? That's different. A little bit of venting, but if you are obsessing and if you are complaining and if you are like hearing yourself, I just hate being taken advantage of. I just hate being taken advantage of. And if you are finding that little loop is going in your head like that, guess what you are setting up for yourself? What's actually happening out there with the universe is the universe is going, oh, you're focusing on being taken advantage of. Let's see what we can do to assist you with that. And you wouldn't think that is the way that it works, at least not initially. And this was my big lesson when I was trying to understand what healing myself was all about. Because before I ever even found Dolores, I had found Reiki and just had started to find Reiki. But my internal conversation was this. It was, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be in pain. I don't like the pain. I don't like the pain. That was my internal thoughts constantly. That was my looping thoughts. And somehow I thought that was focusing on getting better. I focused on how much I disliked being in pain, how much I disliked having to be on the medical treadmill. Wrong. Wrong. And that doesn't mean deny the real aspects of that. It does not mean that. Yes, I'm in pain. Okay, let's focus on something else. Distract myself. Let's look at something else. Let's try to focus on something positive here. Let's see what can I do despite the pain, etc., etc., etc. It's a moving into a different focus. If your singular focus is complaining about whatever situation it is or whatever issue is at hand, um, careful of how you replay those looping thoughts in your head. They are the generator of your reality. All right, I've got limited time now. I really must go. I'm going to figure out this thing a little better so that I can read your comments better and get maybe a holder here on to use in my car. Anyone that got a favorite one out there? Leave a link below where I can find one. Thank you so much. Marcia says we are perfectly strong and marvelous and full of love. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I didn't get to read all of it. Love you all so much. I love you, Jenny. I love you so much. I love my water. I love my water bottle. It's got the little thing on it, so I can't show the beautiful imagery. But drink up, everyone. Program your water. Love you. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Be well.